And I'm back. Hey folks, Breakaway Homesteader here. I'm Patrick. I am glad to say that I am back and ready to go. Um, we're going to go through several things tonight, and we're going to talk about some things, get some real talk going on, and we're going to get back on track. It's you and me. We're going to get back on track because there's some important things that need to be put out there before I start going full time again on this channel. Um, what a crazy time we are in right now. And if you're watching this for the first time, if you're new to my channel, I want to welcome you to it. And you'll soon get to see what our channel's about and how it's going to be focused over the next time frame, say year or so, because so much is going to change in a year, and hopefully we'll get through that year together, and we'll get uh, we'll get you some knowledge that's going to make you a better person, a more prepared person, a better father, mother, brother, sister, daughter, or son, and maybe learn a few things that you haven't known before. But it's going to get real here in a little bit. So the word that's going around, Amanda, missed you. I was saying before you actually said are we live, to you, to the camera, was it's been 10 months since the last time we spoke, or chatted with each other. I had no idea where you were or if you were alive or not, and I thought about you from time to time. Seriously did. Went to Florida a couple times and thought maybe, wondering if you were there or not, if you're just still doing good or not. And I know you deal with a lot, and that's my dog. But scratching at the door. Who's all here? So we got Amanda. There's two other people watching. I'm not sure who, but this is going to be. Seriously, my dog. Come on, Elby. Elby is doing good. She's coming for some loves. Here's my girl. Say hi, world. She's like, I hate the camera. Let's get it away. Get it away. All right, so I'm back. I have not been here in quite some time. Honestly, it's been 2 months, maybe longer. I think February timeframe was when I stopped doing videos, and the reason why, and you right up to the point where this pandemic unfolded to where the United States was being impacted, and I owe you. I don't owe you. I owe you an apology, but I don't. There's a reason why I have not had live shows. And the reason why I haven't been posting anything, and that major reason is simply because with the times that we are going through, and with the amount of people that are suffering in our own country, I felt that I wasn't in a place to act like everything was hunky dory. I wasn't in a place to act like nothing was going on, um, and that people aren't suffering. And it makes me feel deeply sorry that there are people out there that are in worse situations than I am. And for me to come onto this channel and talk about uh, doing stuff, like everything was normal, uh, I couldn't do it. I morally could not do it. And that is the actual reason why I have not been on. Megan understood. I was considering not coming on at all and shutting the channel down and starting a new one, uh, uh, based upon the changing times. And the times have changed. How things can change in 3 months has been significant in my life, and I know it has been across the United States. And for those people who are out there are suffering and watching this video, I am truly sorry. It was never meant to be like this. But at the same time, I hope you prepared in advance. The word pandemic came across this channel on January 23rd, 2020, before it reached the United States. This was when it was secluded in China alone. Actually, no, it was because it was the 23rd. It was actually in quite a few countries, say less than 10, on January 23rd, when I mentioned the word pandemic. And at that point, I put out to my viewers, this was the time to prepare. There were other channels involved with the same line. You got Canadian Prepper. You got Deep South Homestead. You had um, who else? Um, Full Spectrum Survival. Full Spectrum Survival was on the same chord that I was on the 23rd of January. And it became very apparent very quickly that if proper steps weren't taken, that it would get out of control. And guess what, folks? It is out of control. And things are different. So, with that, I do owe you an apology that I have not been around to show support. But trust me, I've been praying for everybody every night, making sure everybody was good. And I want to cry on screen, but I feel so bad for people who lose loved ones. And it scares me every single day to know that I could be exposed to this, that my son can be exposed to this, that my wife can be exposed to this. And it's really out of our control. The only thing we can do is try our best to delay until something comes out that is good enough to inoculate. And I won't necessarily say I'm going to jump on board with the first vaccine until there's some proven effects on it. I do believe that the only way out of this is to be exposed to it in some certain way or another, and how we are exposed to it is what needs to be controlled. Right now, it's so novel, which is why it's called the novel coronavirus, that it's so new that every single day more and more breakthroughs are coming through because we don't know anything about it. And so every day that passes, we know more and more about this. And more optimism comes to effect. We get a day closer to something that will allow us to safely gain this virus into our system to where it's not as detrimental to our health, detrimental to our lives, because people are dying out there. So I said before I wasn't going to come on, I was thinking about canceling my show because I felt so bad because the American population is suffering so much. And I feel like I am blessed every day to be where I'm sitting and being able to sit here and talk to you. Some people don't have internet access anymore. And some people are going to in debt into their eyeballs because they weren't prepared for this. But I felt compelled to come back, and there's a reason why. And that reason simply is we're just in the beginning of this. And before this got here, I did show after show on you need to prepare. You have so much time. Get this while you still can. And for those people who heeded to that, thank you so much for listening to me and actually seeing that I was very serious about my warnings before everything happened. And just like clockwork, everything, and my wife can attest to this, everything that I said was going to happen happened. I literally predicted it a week before everything happened. I put out a show on NPIs that's non-pharmaceutical interventions. That's the things you could do to prevent exposure to this virus. And sure enough, the day after I put uh, that show out, media started covering MPIs. Uh, People, Chris Martenson, he's a doctor. He's an he was a not epidemiologist, but he has got a doctorate in viruses, and he does a show on YouTube. Uh, what's it called? I forget. Peak Prosperity. He does a daily brief on what's going on with this virus, and even he at the beginning of January was harping, "Hey, keep your eye on this. This could get crazy," and he's been 100% true on everything that's been going on. And it felt like I was 2 days ahead of him, because 2 days I would tell something to my wife, or I tell other people I work with, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, and then 2 days later, his daily brief would come on, and he'd come over the same topics that I would go over with my wife, my coworkers, everything like that. And we were blessed that I'm such a loudmouth, because my wife took it very seriously, and we got prepared to do what we needed to do in order to step back from the busy world and be able to isolate ourselves to fight this properly, and to do what we needed to do. So I want to thank my wife for that. She's a very strong woman who understands when I say something and I look serious or act serious, that it's really serious. So what's going to happen from this point forward? Anybody else up here? Amanda said it's been forever. I didn't have internet for the longest. I was working up till April 2nd. So, I mean, there's a victim right there. Uh, um, it had me scared to death, Patrick. I'm sure it did. Common Man, how's it going? New Jersey? Whew. Uh, I hope you're doing well. Um, Christian Betts, good evening. Sorry, we've been talking about how I haven't been on, the reason why I haven't been on, and how things are going to change from here on out. And so I want to give a little public announcement. I was in the Navy for 11 years, and then I'm still affiliated through being a contractor with a lot of folks that are going through the same thing we are, but in a different manner. And so um, it's it's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse from here. I believe. This is my personal belief, by the way. Um, so what's going to happen with the show? The show is going to go on. I'm back to do shows and to specifically help you get back on track. Now, an 800 number. I've never received anything from an 800 number before. So, um, things are going to be different. Different how? So like I said, I was in the Navy, and I used to cuss like a sailor. Matter of fact, uh, little do you know, I do cuss like a sailor. I just try my best not to on this show. Something happened December, November timeframe of last year. Was it? Could have been as late as January. YouTube came out with this policy on children, whether things are suitable for children or not. You literally have to click something before you go live. Say, is this suitable for children? Is this not suitable for children? Is this suitable for children? People for teenagers below 18 or above 18? And so I have permanently clicked, this is not suitable for children. And the reason why is because I'm passionate about this, and there will be times when I drop an F bomb. There's going to be trying times when I cuss, when I get into an emotional rant about the stupidity of people and the way things are doing things wrong, which annoy the crap out of me. And it's weird. You're going to see a different side of Patrick because I'm serious. I'm dead serious when I say this is not a joke. Um, so when I say we're going to get back on track, I mean that you are going to start taking care of you. I'm going to start taking care of me and my family, and we're going to stop worrying about what's going on in the world and start focusing on how things are morphing in this pandemic. Uh, the first thing you could do, the first step in this process is you need to turn off your TV. The only thing you need to do is check in on the numbers, uh, keeping track with your local authorities and medical authorities to make sure that locally you know what's going on in your area. So when you get the telltale signs that we will go through, you'll know what the next step is to do to prevent further exposure to this virus, right? So you can't half-ass something. You're going to have to whole-ass it. You're going to have to put 100% effort into the steps you're going to have to take in order to make it through this crisis. And this is a crisis, 100% crisis mode right now. It has nothing to do with a stock exchange. It has nothing, and I'm getting upset, it has nothing to do with politics. And they're mixing it in to make you worry more every single day. Stress levels are shooting up right now because you're worried about, oh, people are making fun of Donald Trump, or people hate Donald Trump, or he's doing a horrible job in this crisis. Well, guess what? It's not his fault it's here. So I'm not defending Donald Trump, but at the same time, any person that's sitting in that seat is going to have the same problem. Is he making it any better on himself? Probably not. But you got to realize he's one person. And if you are worried about what's going on in the government, if you're worried about what's going on in the White House, if you're worried about what's going on in the House or uh, Congress or anything like that, right now is not the time to worry about it. What you need to be worried about is yourself. And then after yourself, you need to be worried about your spouse or the people that you are living with, your daughters, your sons, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, because that is where you're going to be for the next year, is focusing on them and everything you need to do in order to protect them from this. Donald Trump can't do that. Congress can't do that. Everything's falling apart in hell in a handbasket. So guess who it's going to come up to or come down to when the shit hits the fan? And it has. It's you. Uh, always, the biggest thing I could say when you're in aircraft, you lose pressure. What is the first thing they tell you to do? Put your mask on first. And when you can put your mask on first and get you a foundation underneath your feet, then you can put the mask on the next person next to you. Then you can put a mask on the stranger that's across the way, and then move out from there and help everybody that you can during this crisis. And it's going to take community, people. If you are a lone wolf, this is not the place you need to be. You can unsubscribe right now because this is about community, and it's going to take a community to make it through this crisis. So saying it's going to be different, many people who have watched me for many years on this show or have known me to be on channels and whatnot, I've been very politically correct, and I've been very polite and courteous, and I'm kind of turning that switch off. And again, this is not going to be about politics, but it may come in there when I get into a little rant and get upset about how people are treating people unfairly as far as uh, political parties go. And if you're in a political party right now, I'm not going to tell you not to do anything different, but uh, we won't get into that. It's not about that. It's going to be about us. So turn off the TV, hold ass everything, and let's get into this new form of my show. Now, this is how it's going to work. I'm going to have shows Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8:30. If there's any channels out there going, oh, you're going to railroad me, you're going to go over my show, time slot, whatnot, I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not. But uh, if your subscribers want to watch you, they can watch you. If they want to watch my show, that's fine. It doesn't matter. During a live stream, if people come in or not, that's fantastic. If they don't, they can catch up to that video at a later time. I'm hoping they do. Our shows are going to be so into so much information that I'd prefer people listening to it on in their car on the way to work or something like that, or on the way to a family members or a friend's house, so they can get all the information and digest it the way they need to digest it. And I will strongly suggest everybody who watches this show from this point forward to take 2 looks at each video, because that's how much information is going to be there. Have a notepad in front of you, because you're going to want to write a lot of this stuff down. Because one day you might not be able to afford that power bill, you might not be able to afford that internet bill, and you won't have access to these videos. So if you write this stuff down, you'll have that information. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, it's going to go like this. It's going to seesaw. On one day, we're going to go over a topic, a subject. There we go. A subject that's important to the times now and what you need to do right now. On the other side, when that seesaw goes down, we're going to do a questions and answers on that particular video. So we're going to have that one video, and then we're going to have questions and answers 2 days later. So you can ask all the questions you need to ask about that particular subject. That way I can research it. If I don't have an answer, I can get you an answer. I can get somebody to answer it for you. We'll have guests on that may answer questions that I can't answer. I'm not a medical guy, but hey, you know what? I know a medical guy. I've been a firefighter, but I'm not certified. Hey, I know a firefighter, and so on and so forth. The focus is on getting you guys prepared for what's coming, and a close channel of ours, that's Full Spectrum Survival, Brad, came out 2 weeks ago. He says, you've got 6 months. And I 100% agree. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I have to talk about. I'm going to check out the comments here, and then we'll talk about something if you guys have any questions. If not, this is going to be a short, quick, and brief intro into what's going to happen in the future. And I'll give you a little sneak peek of what we're going to talk about on well, hell, tomorrow's Friday. We'll do it tomorrow, Friday night, 8:30. So Doc Ferris, you go, Pat. Amanda says, "Don't worry, Patrick. Stupid people make me swear too." Thank you, Patrick. Told my sister the same thing just today. Guys, you have to talk to your families. This is going to be the lifeblood of how you're going to make it through this. This is the way it was before. People got modern. Our civilization got modern. It was all based upon family. If you look at pictures from the Great Depression, you'll see whole families under one roof in one room, and they work through it. So this is what is going to happen. So again, if you're new here, I don't mean to be upset, mean to you. I don't want this to be a precursor to think that this is going to be a horrible show or anything like that. It's going to be the exact opposite. This is going to be your information spot, and we're going to get into it, and we're going to get into it hot and heavy. I don't have my notes as far as what we're going to be talking about, but I can tell you tomorrow we're going to talk about the life cycle of a chicken. Folks, if you don't have chickens, if you're not able to have chickens, we're going to give you alternatives. But if you are able to have chickens, now is the time to obtain some and prepare yourselves to continuously have chickens on your homestead or in your little backyard, wherever you can can be where you can have chickens. And if you live someplace that doesn't have chickens, maybe you could find somebody willing to raise some chickens on their own property for you. And this is a part of the community thing. You're gonna have to start talking to people as well, gaining trust of people that you don't know, and making new friends that you can gain trust in, because it's that trust that's going to solidify that relationship, so you can have reliability in other people. So that's all I have for tonight. If you have any questions, you can email me anytime. That is thebreakawayhomesteader@gmail.com. We are always willing and able to take your emails. I do have a postage box. We'll talk about that later. I'm setting up a Patreon page. We'll talk about that later. I've taken my site down. Thebreakawayhomesteader.us is valid for the next month, but I'm taking it down. I'm using those resources to better this show and to focus on this show. None of my content is monetized at all, so I'm not making a dime off of these. I am here solely because of my concern for my people out there that feel that they can step up and do something in their lives to make sure that their families are taken care of. So I'm Patrick. I'm the Breakaway Homesteader. My wife Megan, she's in the living room. She'll join us from time to time to give her expertise and to contribute to the program as well. She's doing great. We're all doing well. We're all happy, luckily, and we hope you're doing the same. And so until tomorrow night, 8 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you be safe out there. You have a good evening.